except if our regulators decide to act and not remain in doldrum, the number of codeine-related products are increasing by brand. So for us in that sector, it tells us something. If no one is consuming this product, you know, there won't be demand for more persons to want to go into its production. Okay, and so that's just an idea to tell you, to confirm that there's an increase in the surge. And if you look at the consequence line, look back at some of those things that relates to drug abuse and their menaces. Is crime rates, in quotes, on the increase or not? Are the challenges NDLA facing with the youth, is it on the reduction level? Amount of drug-related cases they are handling, they are on the increase. Back on the health sector level, I'm happy my presenter here is a therapist, and I'm sure he is probably seeing more cases of people they need to rehabilitate, counsel, and guide. Medically, an average government hospital, if they can help us keep statistics, there's definitely an increase in the number of cases of youth coming down with one health condition or the other. End organ issues are certainly on the increase in problematic presentations, because most of these drugs, whether we like it or not, one organ or the other is always a sensor factor where the damage hinges on. And so you see that we are having increased number of mental conditions, we are having increased number of liver-related diseases, increased kidney failure issues. Just name any organ in the body that interfaces with some of these things. Is it the heart, where we have an increased rate in heart-related situations, or respiratory distress? They're all in the increase. So it tells us something is going wrong. And it behooves everybody to say it is time to act. And I'm happy the media, through this program, for example, is playing one aspect of the beautiful job it should do. But you see, like you also hinted, the media is also playing another not too good role in showcasing some of these things. Because really, many persons respond to what they see as a learning, rather that we failed and fell from grace. Even with that, we have the privilege that things can be done well, we can eat well, learn to eat well, learn to do things well, and when we are sick, fall back on nature. We still have a reason why we don't think it should be done that way. And where we think so, we do it minimally. And so if we've come to the stage where it's now more acceptable for us to go on chemicalized products, why not also let us allow ourselves to follow through the process? Everybody, when you need this product, use it wisely. Why is the media coming to play a role here? The more we play out this intelligentsia of teaching, educating people, speaking to our conscience, advising us, telling us the truth the way they are, the chances are high that persons will go to the hospital, get a prescription, and they begin to say, I must use it the way the doctor said. And when they get to the dispensary in the hospital, and the pharmacist now does his own due diligence to say the specifics as to how best they are done, what to avoid, and all that, it seems further that what we hear on the radio and TV, reading paper, these professionals are anchoring the same thing. The chances are higher that people will begin to follow through. Because why one is trying to follow from government is that you'll expect that with the level of negative news we hear in our communities in recent years, number of deaths on daily basis, you will expect either regulatory agencies to begin to sit up and do the right thing, government appoint people who are pragmatically intelligent, enlightened, willing to work with patriotic zeal. If these things are not coming, we can't expect any change if we follow the tune of what we've been hearing happening even at the National Hospital or, Villa Hospital, where things are just not right.
Okay, we'll come back to that. Now, just I want you to add, can you think of any other, adverse effect of drug abuse that have not been mentioned?
Well,
we've heard about mental issues, organ failure and all that. So what's
another part of it is what most of us will not look at, premature death. I've seen situations where people will overdose and die on the spot, especially for people that inject. They overdose.
Just like what happened recently with these musicians.
Theirs, it's more of, alcohol. It was alcohol poisoning because dosed themselves and they died. But for people who inject, you get a lot of people, they start injecting from their arm, there's no more space to inject, they try their thighs, then they go to their genitals. Just look for anywhere to inject, and it's another world entirely for people that are injecting drug users, different from people that do not inject. So premature death, and also a lot of people lose things as a result of drug use. You lose your relationship, you lose your dignity, you lose your job. A lot of people lose their families, So at the end of the day, the drug they do take them from zenith to zero. And so at that point, there's nothing
they can do
anymore.
about it anymore.
They don't have anything. They are the rock bottom of it all. At that point, they are frustrated. So some people, well, what's the essence? Let me just go and die.
Suicide sets.
And then,
they take their own lives.
They take their life. Or some people just overdose. In order not to think about it, I need to just take something that is higher than the normal dose. So they go to overdose. And our body composition differ. Some people might be able to take it and come out of it. Some may not. Many will not. So and they die.
Okay, let's look at the role of family in all this. Is there anything the family is not doing right, that is giving rise to, prevalence of drug abuse?
Yes. So many things are wrong at the level of the family, and we are all involved in it. Okay? But then, we'll take it from the point that the family needs to, every family that is of child or children now that are within the youth range should begin to retrace their steps. That's my first recommendation. Let us begin to pay more attention to the reason why we first accepted the responsibility to raise a child. We cannot continue to chase, in quote, money and fame and power to the detriment of even the society with which you celebrate these things we are chasing. The rat race is becoming a mad race. And I think families should take their time and begin to pay more attention to the family. Government might need to play a role to begin to look at how can we diffuse the pressure which we are all clamoring for, good governance, provide basic amenities, give workers a sense of a futuristic state so that people work diligently, honestly, and know that their reward will come at due time. The situation we see, husband is out in the morning, 3 o'clock, wife is out, 5 o'clock, they both come back, one 9 o'clock, the other one 11 o'clock, maids or children are left to all vices. We can't continue like this. For most of us who have grown into adulthood today, who were privileged to understand what raising a child was, we experienced it. We know that what we're seeing today is a far cry, where children don't feel that tenderness, that presence of either the mother or the father. It is when we pay more attention to these children that those signs and symptoms, when they begin to pop up, we recognize them and nip them on the bud. Either when we see a child start showing less interest in school, it's a warning signal, it's a red flag. The child comes home with apparatus he went to school with not complete, money start missing at home, unusually, strange faces begin to come into the house. The child begins to seclude himself from his room or her room. They don't want too much of mommy and daddy's contact in their room. Over time, you begin to notice this pattern of changes, that something is going wrong. And of course, even when children are to go on regular medication for regular situations, if the parents are there, the child will monitor to ensure the child took the medication in the morning, supervised it. If it's to be done in the evening, the mother or father is there to supervise it. And so you are sure that these things have been done as prescribed by the doctor or recommended by the pharmacist, as the case may be. Economic situation of the family is secured. You spend less, a child is sick, you spend minimally because you've monitored the process through. Then they don't get it right, the child falls sick again, situation gets complicated, you spend more.
You've said it, you've practically said it all. Now, Shasol, tell us, how can an addict get help? Briefly, just one sentence. How can an addict be rehabilitated and reintegrated into the society?
One sentence will not be enough. That would be unfair. But the first thing usually is look for help. I mean, there are rehab centers across the nation that they can access. And there are some that are fee-paying, there are some that are free, and there are some that are cost-effective, that are not too expensive. So look for rehab center. And, you know, there's a lot of organization at the moment. One funny thing about it is this: we have over 2 million people that are on drugs in Lagos, and we only have 500 beds in Nigeria. Wow. For treatment. So it's that bad.
That's a challenge. That is a challenge.
Well, that's where we'll wrap it up. You've heard it all, what is really happening. We have our children there doing all these drugs, and we all have roles to play with the government, the families, and everyone. Thank you for watching Nitty-Gritty today. Join us next week for another interesting edition. My name is Jane Ojukwu. Bye for now.
NTA2Lagos Network Center. Street lights all over Lagos. It's bringing out the beauty in Lagos. From third man. On that wedding day, on that election day, on that graduation day, on that celebration day, Agbala go day, Ichana go day, Amala go day, Ogiri go day, Ayami go day, Ifunanya go day, Ndimozi go day, Usobuno go day. Ikodi boss, are you feeling me? Samba. Agege boss, are you feeling me? Samba. All my ladies, ginger me. Samba. From my back and lick it to Las Kiki. Jesus power, super power. Jesus power, super power. I dey get it credit alert every hour. I know they want to put you for my bama, but I dey shine things like Michelle Obama. Importer, exporter. Gonna the days you dey live West Quarter. Pattern, Gary 10, and pure water. Now, Oluwa don bless you, don't turn water. Bolaga, anybody go back there for Simalara. Say Bolaga, for Simalara. Angel Michael for Simalara. On that wedding day, on that election day, on that graduation day, on that celebration day. Agbala go day, Ichana go day, Amala go day, Ogiri go day, Ayami go day, Ifunanya go day, Ndimozi go day, Usobuno go day. Ikodi boss, are you feeling me? Samba. Agege boss, are you feeling me? Samba. All my ladies, ginger me. Samba. From my back and lick it to Las Kiki. Jesus power, super power. Igbo na do Igbo na Susan Igbo. And it's only Agnes go be my chiquito. Celebration for my people. New generation enter my head. God is good. I thank you especially Governor Ambody. On that wedding day, on that direction day, on that graduation day, on that celebration day. Agala go day, Ichana go day, Amala go day, Egiri go day, Ayami go day, Ifunanya go day, Ndimozi go day, Usebundo go day. Ikodu boys, are you feeling me? Samba. Agege boys, are you feeling me? Samba. All my ladies, ginger me. Samba. From my back, I lick it to Las Gidi. Mommy, don't tell your coco. Omo kamba wanda no kono. Remember me, Jesus power, super power.
Upgrade your Star Times decoder this Easter and enjoy these amazing programs. Yes, free. Hurry now. Recharge. Pay 1 month subscription on Nova, Basic or Smart Bouquet and enjoy 2 weeks upgrade to the next higher bouquet for the first 2 weeks. Classic and Super subscribers are not left out. Pay 1 month and get 1 week extra free. Offer valid till 30th of April 2018. Star Times. Enjoy digital life.
Looking for a place to relax and unwind after a tiring day? Lagos Resource Center is it. A place of hospitality and relaxation, an interaction center for retreat, GMs, lectures, conferences, social activities for corporate bodies, individuals and religious groups. The Lagos Resource Center offers you various range of rooms such as standard, deluxe, semi-suites and suites for your comfort. Try out our pastries, Nigerian and international dishes as our Bethany kitchen makes you ask for more. Our hall of various sizes are fully equipped with state-of-the-art facilities and up-to-date training equipment. We also offer professional outdoor catering services, all to your taste and delight. Visit our beautiful chapel for your meditation and prayers after a busy day. You can locate us at 9 Anifowoshe Street off Adiola Odeku Street or Okofo Abayomi Street, Victoria Island, Lagos. For further inquiries, call 070-3314-1149 or 080-7502-8582. Email recenter@yahoo.co.uk. Lagos Resource Center, relaxation, serenity and hospitality at its peak.
To charge. Lock down malaria fast.
network service of the NTA.
It's that time again of the weekend where we come with all the top stories in the world of sports. My name is Tegano Jaife. I'm sitting in for Jonathan Hansen, and this is Inside Sports brought to you by MTN. I'm not doing this alone. I have my buddy, Tracy Swore. Welcome to the show.
Thank you very much, Tega. You're looking very snazzy.
Oh, thank you very much. I'm just trying to be like you.
Okay.
But as we say that, we want to talk about what sports have done to us this week, all through the week. It has been a ton of excitement that nobody expected. First up is Daniel Ricciardo and how he came from nowhere to win the Chinese Grand Prix, and also how the Kenyans dropped the ball and let a Japanese and an American win the Boston Marathon. And we'll also talk about the Commonwealth Games. A lot of people may not have been hopeful, but we did come back with 24 medals.
Yeah,
yes, yeah. 24 medals, and 9 of them were gold medals. So we'll talk about all that and more after this break. We'll be right back.
Season of surprises. It's our season of surprises, and as you know, everybody here will get something today.
Good morning. Check my lolly. We are very, very happy for this MT and what he has done for us.
We thank you.
The MTN Season of Surprises, we're here at Chipowu Chisco Park, and we just paid for the bus fares for everybody that's in this bus.
Surprise you with better. You go surprise me with better.
Yes, season of
surprises. And we're back. It's still Inside Sports brought to you by MTN. My name is Tegano Jaife, and I still have Tracy in the studio. Now let's start from the very first news. Now, Daniel Ricciardo did his usual shooey after winning the Chinese Grand Prix from the 6th position. And all through the season, there's been Mercedes, there's been Ferrari, but nobody saw the Red Bulls coming. How did Daniel Ricciardo pull that one off?
I believe, basically, first of all, congratulations to Daniel Ricciardo and his team. When you talk about Red Bull, most people would look at Max Verstappen because he's been the shiniest light in that angle. But
Mad Max.
Yeah, Mad Max. Yeah, Mad Max. But one of the key things about that race in the Chinese Grand Prix was the fact that they had like a quick double stack Red Bull stop, and that was the key moment where, you know, Ricciardo was able to just slip in, shove off what's his face, Valtteri Bottas, and you know, make his move. And it was a very sharp move. One thing we've learned, among other things, is that just like Nico Rosberg says, as the pundit, his enemy, Hamilton, he seems to have a lot of off days, and he needs to know how to ginger himself on the days that he has off days. And one thing we've learned from Hamilton after the loss, if you want to call it that, is the fact that even though he acknowledges that, yes, it was a off day, he also knows that he doesn't really have a good romance with the car. Now, as you that I know that you love Formula One and you have your experience with Formula One on and off, the action itself, what I'm even questioning now is the fact that, hey, Hamilton, it's just a few weeks into the season. How can you be saying you've already lost love for the car that was supposed to be the biggest deal? Another thing that comes into my mind after watching the Grand Prix in anticipation for Azerbaijan is the fact that it seems to me that we might just have a three-way race, not just a two-way race like we thought. So that is something exciting to look out for. Something that we saw was the overambitiousness of Verstappen, because that was what threw him off, and I think he finished like 6th.
He finished 5th, and then he finished 4th, and then the 10-second penalty.
Oh yeah, the 10-second penalty because of the heat that he had with Vettel. So he showed over ambition. So someone has to rein in his ambition. There's a lot of factors, and it's pretty exciting. So we never can tell. This is 3 races in. We have 2 different winners than what we expected, and anything can happen.
This is the first time in maybe 4 or 5 seasons that Mercedes hasn't won a single race of the first 3 races.
I didn't want to join you. I don't want to jinx it.
You can talk about Hamilton's off day, but what is Mercedes getting wrong? Because think about it, when Verstappen was pulled in to change his tires during the safety car, Mercedes did not opt to pull in Hamilton.
No, they did not.
And then Red Bull also pulled in Daniel Ricciardo. So that was a strategy failure. What do you think Mercedes is? What do you think is happening at Mercedes right now?
I think
they're
getting too distracted. Like no, it's true. They still have the contract talks that they're still talking with Hamilton, trying to hold him down, hold Valtteri Bottas down, because Bottas is dependent on Hamilton signing. And then they're still working with their engineers to check out how the cars can be upgraded. They have had the pride of, for at least the past 3 seasons, definitely strongly beating every car in Formula One. So we already know that they have this ability to give us fantastic cars that nobody can beat. That's why they call them the supercar makers. But they seem distracted now because for the first time they're on the back foot. Okay. And it'll be interesting to see what comes up.
Yeah.
So, you know, bounce back.
Okay, on another note now, that was just about Ferrari and Mercedes dropping the ball for Red Bull. But let's talk about what the Kenyans have done to Africa. For years now, we have seen either the Kenyans or the Ethiopians, it had to be an African winning marathons all around the world. But this time, for the first time since 1987, an American woman won Boston Marathon on the women's side. And you will think that the Kenyan men will redeem us. But no! A Japanese, Yuri Kawachi, won the Boston. And in fact, he did not just win it, he took the Kenyan, the last Kenyan standing to win the Boston Marathon. I mean, incredible news as this may be for the Japanese and for the Americans, but what is happening to sports in Africa? Why are we dropping this ball?
We didn't drop the ball. We did not drop the ball.
We were not prepared for.
One thing that Yuki said that I also agree with, because most times, you know, they call him the citizen runner because basically he's a guy that has a daytime job, just like we do, and he decides to run marathons. And unlike a lot of athletes that do this per second billing, he runs about 80 marathons a year, which is grueling for anyone.
You know that's what the Kenyans do to school.
I'm coming. I'm coming. No, those ones, they run away from lions. It's not even just for school. But one thing that has always been very key to Yuki's arrangement is the fact that the rains played a factor for the Boston Marathon. I'll come to Linden because that's another person entirely. In fact, this past few days has been a season of like the ones you never expect to get it, they get it just because of one small strain of, you know, perseverance. But basically for Yuki trains in the mountains, in the Kanto region, the most industrious, the most like, it's like an island with mountains and cold and extreme weather. Now, Boston Marathon, for the first time in 10 years, had one of the worst weather ever. It was like 40 Celsius, rather, if I say centimeters. My maths teacher, she'll be very unimpressed. But 40 Celsius degrees lower. The weather was really, really intense. I'm bringing a man like Yuki. This is where it trains.
Yeah.
It's not like the Kenyans that they train in the high mountains where everywhere is thin. No, he trains in a place where hail and thunder can flow. He said it after his post-winning interview. He was like, this was the best possible condition for me to run. I mean, kudos to the man who even managed to even reach forward. Okay, I mean, how many Africans like
let's get to Lyndon, though.
But for Lyndon, this is something that comes full circle because I personally, I feel pleased. Why? Because in 2011, I remember back then, she was just 2 seconds away from winning. It was a Kenyan that disappointed her.
So this time she decided to disappoint the whole country.
And she wasn't going to run because she wanted to drop out. She had to meet Flanagan, the other American girl that everybody had eyes for. And it was Flanagan that gingered her. I was like, okay, you know what? Let's do this together. So they were running in concert. They were running to block the wind. When Flanagan dropped back to use the toilet, she stayed her run. That's something that's pretty impressive. At the 25th lap, she stayed her run. She paced herself until Flanagan came back from the bathroom break, and then they moved together. So it tells me that there are different ways to win.
Yeah, you can win as a team, or you can win solo. Yeah. So that great news. It was fantastic. It was shocking, but it was fantastic. Congratulations to everybody who wasn't given any thought at all, but came to win over the weekend. Now, after that, we go to the round leather game, where everybody wants to make some good money. We'll talk about that after this break.
Madam, pipe don't bust. We need 5,000 to fix up.
Good day, madam. A gentle reminder of my already due remuneration for the tutelage of your offspring.
Babe, what's up now? I no longer interested in their shape.
Them don't take light, oh. Even I say our credit don't finish. My salary self don't due.
Send money, buy airtime, and pay bills. All with one dial. No internet access needed. Dial *710# to open a Diamond Yellow account today.
Madam, my own call.
My baby. So many memories. You fill your dad and I with so much joy as we've watched you grow. You know we love you so very much. And we remember all your firsts. We look forward to more beautiful memories. So here's another one, with love from us to you. Your first smartphone, and we're sure you will love it.
Gift your loved one the MTN smartphone. Available at all designated MTN outlets.
Welcome back. It's still Inside Sports. I'm still Tegano Jaife. The show is brought to you by MTN. Now, we still have Tracy in the house, but we have to move to the money-making sports. Yes, football. And talking about
money-making sports.
No, we know what money is doing to football. And one of the teams that money has really helped, Manchester City. Yes, they won the Premier League this season, and it wasn't just that they won. It was that they won after Manchester United lost by 1-0 to the bottom team of the Premier League, West Bromwich Albion. So here's what it is. So Manchester United stopped Manchester City from winning the week earlier, and then they go to Old Trafford and hand over the trophy.
It's not like this. No. See, this is the beauty of EPL. It's the beauty that a club that's struggling with relegation, that will probably be even relegated if care is not taken, can beat a number 2 club on the table. This is not something that you see, say, for maybe that Strasbourg and PSG.
Yes.
We've not seen something like that in recent time in other leagues. It's not possible. But this is the beauty of the EPL. Congratulations to Pep Guardiola.
But congratulations to Pep Guardiola and the Manchester City team on winning the EPL this season. Now we move to another person that, well, hasn't really won, even if his team may have won the League One. he hasn't really won personally. Neymar is saying that he is going to work twice as hard so that he can get back in form in time for the World Cup. The injury and the surgery he had with the makeup time he was given wasn't supposed to be able to make it to the World Cup, but now he's saying that maybe by May 17th he will be back, and then he'll see how that goes. How does that work for Brazil? Not PSG.
No, it's possible. I won't even see the topic of Neymar. It always tears me wrong in the stomach because I feel so much antagonism for the man, and he has not done so much to change it for me. But basically, Neymar, the metatarsal injury, it is possible. After all, we've seen that with Rooney, with Owen. It's the same metatarsal injury they had, and they still managed to make it for the World Cup. Did they perform as like 100%?
And that's where the cry is.
But that's the beauty about Brazil. He doesn't need to perform at 100%. There are like 4 persons in the role that he plays already waiting. But the reason they would need a Neymar there, from what we've seen, in Brazil for the World Cup, and of course for the Olympics, is a clarion call carrier for them. He's their Braveheart. He's the Mel Gibson man that used to ginger all of them.
Once he's on the field of play,
their talisman.
Yeah, once he's on the field of play, they're playing differently.
And that is where my grouse is, because he has set himself up, or life and fortune has set him up to be that kind of player. He doesn't extend himself other than Brazil.
What I'm saying is he might as well be waving pom-poms. He's not changing anything tactically on the pitch. I was going to say, no, on to the next one. People take all these court side antics for more than it is. Okay, mindset. Next thing we talk about is the VAR. The VAR at the World Cup. Gianni Infantino has already said something, that at the World Cup that he's getting ready to laugh because VAR is going to bring more drama. And here is what it is. A match in the Bundesliga the referee had blown the whistle for halftime. The players had gone into the dressing room, and then the VAR tells the referee that there was a penalty. The referee was already in the tunnel, so he had to come back, call the players out of the dressing room to take this penalty. The madness that is VAR these days. Just tell us what you think on that story, because I don't even know which question to ask. It is halftime. Okay. Game over for 15 minutes.
Okay,
and they're taking a penalty.
When people take a ground, okay, before we go inside the story, you know the thing about that match that made me smile? The game stopped for 10 minutes. People have got the game stopped for 10 minutes. 10 minutes. Why? Because the fans were carrying toilet paper. The amount of toilet paper that fans carry in their bag to a Bundesliga match, I don't even understand. How often did they have to go to?
No, they just ran into the restaurant and brought one out. That's what they did.
I was astounded by that, so maybe that took my mind off. But when it comes to this VAR thing, the parties that have been complaining about it, especially for this match, it's kind of debilitating, because you want to know, economically speaking, do you want the guy to call them after the second half or the beginning of the second half? It happened. There was a penalty. Was he supposed to wait till the beginning of the second half before he called them, or what?
That's another thing. Is the response time for the VAR to get to you? I mean, because an event happens, and it shouldn't take that long. You watch the NFL, when they are reviewing calls, it doesn't take that long. In fact, they've even made it a lot easier by handing it. So this VAR, the time between the calls is part of the problem, because the referee blew the whistle, was walking into the tunnel. And that's when they called him. So is it time, for me, is it time?
I think if we want to settle this thing, we are putting too much pressure on the guys that operate this VAR. This is the first season that they are operating it in real time. Of course, they are going to be kinks. This is an example of one of them. But you can't tell me that they shouldn't have arranged these guys to come back, because for now we already know this is the guinea pig season. Hopefully by next season
we're not saying that by the time the call was made, there was no way they had to call him back. I'm saying, but the time between when they had to make the call and when it got to the referee.
It's the guinea pig season. I feel this is one of the, hopefully by the World Cup drama we'll walk down.
Yeah, that's what you say. So it's an experimental season, and because it's an experimental season, we can forgive them if you can. But if you can't, continue holding your ground, because at the World Cup we're still going to see some of these kinks. Okay, on to the next one. We will take a very quick break, and then when we come back, we'll talk about the money rain in the sports ministry on the Commonwealth at least. We'll be right back.
MTN gives 2,000% bonus for reactivating your MTN SIM. That's right. If you haven't used your MTN SIM for 45 days or more, recharge now and get 2,000% bonus. That's right, 2,000% bonus for your first recharge of every month.
Welcome back. It's the segment of the show where we come back home. I'm still Tegano Jaife. This is Inside Sports, brought to you by MTN. And Tracy, we have to talk about the money rain that the sports minister is giving.
Excellent Jehovah, you are the mighty Jehovah. No one is greater than Jehovah, Lord divine. Excellent Jehovah, in every situation of my life. No one is greater than Jehovah, Lord divine. Excellent Baba, no one is greater than Jehovah. Everybody call him excellent Jehovah. Receive all the glory. Father, in the day, receive all the honor. Daddy, in the night, I give you all the praise and adoration forevermore. Father, to you, Jesus, to you, ancient of days. Almighty Jesus, to you, Baba. Be all the glory. Be all the honor. He is greater than Jehovah, Lord divine. There is no one better than Jehovah, Lord divine. Somebody shout hallelujah. Now I want to come back to my fatherland because we are in Ikwere land. I want to do a song in Ikwere language to the glory of Almighty God. He is greater than Jehovah, Lord divine. Chikiketanoma botu bodu abochiburoma kesinorujo aiwebu sarema nurime chodike osinema Chikerawa kanoma botu bodu abochiburoma kesinorujo aiwebu sarema nurime chodike osinema If you are among the living, can I hear you shout hallelujah?
Hallelujah. Thank you, Father, for this privilege. Thank you, Father, for this opportunity. Take this offering from us and use it more. Use us much more than you use this offering. Make us relevant. Make us useful. For in Jesus' gracious name we have prayed.
Baptist Conference in choir administration. Put your hands together, please.
Sure.
Ready more than ever before, taking authority over the devil, building the nation, lifting the government. We don't ready you. We don't move forward. We don't know. Moving with power, preaching the gospel, living for Jesus, touching the people, building the nation in a big way. We are ready, we don't move forward. We don't know. More than ever, This is the time for dancer. The Bible says, praise the Lord with the dancer. I can't see people dancing here. It is time for us Christians to move forward. We are going to take part in politics. We are going to build a nation. We are going to take authority over the devil. If you believe you're taking authority over the devil, shout hallelujah! Viva el praise! Father, Dio! Viva Papa, Papa Dio! Give us more strength, Papa God, more power, more wisdom. More than ever
We don't give you hope. We don't get it more than ever. We go move on. We know they go back. We are marching forward, forward we go. Oh yeah. We are moving forward, forward we go. Nigerian Baptist Convention, forward we go, forward we go, forward we go. We are taking over, taking over, taking over, taking over, taking over, taking over, taking over. Forward we go, forward we go, forward we go, forward we go. Forward, forward, forward we go. Forward, forward, forward we go. We are moving forward. Forward, 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 forward. We go, we go, we go. We are taking over, taking over, taking over. Forward, 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 forward we go. Forward we go. We are moving, moving, and moving. Never go back forward, never go back forward, never go back forward. We are moving forward, forward we go. We will never give up. Forward, forward, forward we go. Forward we go. The nation. We are taking over the Say, we are the
Jam your hands together, jam your hands together. I appreciate this beautiful choir. The Lord bless you. The Lord bless you. The Lord bless you. Praise ye the Lord. Praise ye the Lord. The text we are taking today, this evening, on this occasion, shall be found in the book of Proverbs, chapter 29, verse 2, and also 1 Corinthians, chapter 3, verse 11. Proverbs 29, verse 2, and 1 Corinthians chapter 3, verse 11. I read from the New King James Version. Proverb, beginning with Proverbs 29, verse 2. When the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. But when a wicked man rules, the people groan. 1 Corinthians chapter 3, verse 11. For no other foundation can anyone lay than that which is laid, which is Jesus Christ. I take it again. For no other foundation can anyone lay than that which is laid, which is Jesus Christ. May the Lord bless the reading and hearing of his words in Jesus' name.
To God be the glory, who has taken us to different places of worship in the morning and has decided to bring us here. This is the second day of this great gathering. Once again, I want to appreciate Rivers Baptist Conference for doing all within your power to make a glorious gathering. I think we need to jam our hands together and appreciate them better and better. They started from the scratch. It is a miracle. And to God alone be all the glory. And the way the choir has been performing since yesterday, you know that they really want you to have a bank here. A real bank. A real bank. The song was not only sung, but also demonstrated. You can see people moving forward with their canoe. Forward ever, backward never. To God be the glory. In line with our convention theme, moving forward, building a great nation through effective Christian participation, I'm going to address us on the topic, building our nation on Christ, the solid rock. Building our nation on Christ, the solid rock. Shall we go to the Lord in prayer? Living Father, we have had many messages in the morning, but we know that you want to feed us again and again. Therefore, we are not tired of your word, and your people have gathered again. I pray, eternal Father, the engrafted milk of the Spirit you will give to your children here today in the name of Jesus. Open my mouth in wisdom that is from above, and let lives be touched. Let our nation be touched. Let our nation reach the destination that you have marked for us in the name of Jesus. Thank you, eternal Redeemer. In Jesus' name we pray. For all those who are not here, Baptists, Christians all over the world, you can hook on to NTA and begin to enjoy the service. Or you hook on to the station of the Nigerian Baptist Television, which is called New Frontier Television, the cable television news, and also enjoy this program. Building our nation on Christ, the solid rock. The fourth aspect of the passage we read says, when the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. But when a wicked man bears rule, people will glow. And 1 Corinthians 3:11 says, for no other foundation can any man lay than that which is laid, Jesus Christ, the Son of God, is the rock. It is common knowledge that rock is solid and very hard. It can break things into pieces, but it is difficult to be broken unless with utmost determination. In many places of the world, especially in riverine areas like where we are here, nobody attempts to build without making the foundation of hardcore, using stones and cement, which to make the building stand. Beloved, building on a rock can only be done by a wise person who does not want the edifice or the structure to collapse. When weather hazards come, It is the house, the structure, the facility that is built on the rock that can stand. In Matthew chapter 7, from verse 24 to 25, our Lord Jesus Christ says, therefore, whosoever heareth these sayings of mine, and doeth them, I will liken him unto a wise man, which built his house upon a rock. And the rain descended, and the floods came, and the winds blew, and beat upon that house. And it fell not. Why? For it was founded upon a rock. This passage underscores the strength of rock in sustaining facilities and making it last. In the same way, a nation that will be great must recognize that the Lord God who made the heavens and the earth is the original and incomparable foundation and builder upon which human societies, human nations must be built. Nations that are developed in the world, especially the Western nations, are their foundations on the Word of God, the Bible. Especially I know of the United States of America and Great Britain. When they migrated from different parts of the world, especially from England, looking for religious freedom, and they got to a place they call Newfoundland. What their preoccupation was to build a nation where God is number one. No wonder the motto of American nation till today is in God we trust. Some modern democrats are developing, are coming up in America, trying to zero in everything on human rights. Any human right that we keep put God at a corner and exalt man more than God is bound to fail. In direct affront against the authority of the Almighty. All the evangelicals in the United States of America decided to collaborate together in the last election to say no to mundane secular democracy without the fear of God. And they voted out excessive Democrats who wanted to turn a nation that started on God into a mundane secular democracy. America is returning to God in full. And Nigeria must return to God in the name of Jesus. In Psalm 9, verse 17, the Bible says, the wicked shall be turned into hell, and all the nations that forget God. If any nation forgets God, that nation is doomed. Beloved, we need to recognize that God reigns in the affairs of men. In the book of Daniel chapter 4, verse 17, the word of God says that matter is by the decree of the watchers and the demand by the word of the holy ones, to the intent that the living may know that the Most High rules in the kingdom of men. The Most High rules in the kingdom of men. It is not a suggestion. It is not a possibility. It is his right to rule and to reign, because he created all things, and for him they are, and for him they were created. He giveth whomsoever he wills the authority, and he removes whoever he wills. I say it again. If Nigeria is going to find its bearing, if Nigeria is going to prosper and witness peace, we must allow God the builder to rebuild this nation for us. By humbly looking to the word of God and imbibing the moral values in it as leaders and followers did in America and in Great Britain at the beginning of their democracy, drawing the major aspects of their constitution from the Bible. What is called the American Constitution today and the British Constitution came from the Word of God. They are a reflection of what the Scripture says. John Adams, the second president of America, said about democracy that will be very impactful. And this is what he says. For democracy to work, the majority of people have to be religious and moral at their core, or it falls apart. Therefore, that mandate democracy cannot take us to our promised land, but democracy that is Christocentric. Beloved of God, how do we then build our nation on Christ? Well, I don't know how you want to term it. Christocentric democracy, we need a rebranding of Nigeria. You may call it rebranding, restructuring. You may call it reappraisal. Whatever name you want to call it, Nigeria cannot continue like this. The way we share resources, the way we share positions, the way we do things, the way federalism must run, are to be in the true spirit of federalism. Nigeria is not a unitary system. It is a federal system. And in order for Nigeria to move forward, we need to go back to the drawing board. How do we build Nigeria under God? Number one, to build Nigeria under God, leaders in Nigeria, whoever is going to lead us, must have the saving knowledge of Jesus Christ, the Son of God. A barbarian who is uncircumcised is a potential criminal. No matter how good, religiously good, when is now brought face to face with the reality of power and governance, somebody who is not circumcised in the heart is a potential criminal. He cannot take us to our promised land. Let us know how the best of secular education and may even study political science, which in itself is very good, but it's not enough at all, without definite encounter with the Lord of life in terms of success in political leadership. Before God was able to use Moses, despite the education of Moses in the wisdom, the arts, and the magic of Egypt, God had to show himself to him at the burning bush. He had a definite encounter. It was after he was able to go before Pharaoh and deliver the children of Israel from their slavery in Egypt. He or she who does not know God cannot serve the people of God, because the wisdom of God to do so is never in him or her. The compassion to bear the body of the people is not in the barbarian, is stark unbeliever. This is where we, children of God, need to call our senses back. Another election is coming. You need to look to the nook and breadth of Nigeria and vote into power people who have had encounter with the Lord God of life. Saul of Tarsus was deeply religious, but was not a useful instrument in the hands of God until he encountered Jesus Christ on his way to Damascus. Or in Acts chapter 9, verses 1 to 6, you all know this. Apart from definite encounter with the Lord of life, the Lord of God, I want to emphasize, are you listening to me? Or you are listening to Cyril? I think some people have problems. Hello, somebody? Another thing which we need to do in that nation, in order to get to our promised land, is that for all the people that will lead us in 2019, henceforth, we need background check for them. What did I call it? Background check for our would-be leaders. In Nigeria and most countries in Africa, background check is necessary for those that will lead us. We need to know their work in terms of their character, because character matters. That will require that each political party will do due diligence to delve into the past of each candidate to discover what they did in all the places they have worked before. Every leadership assignment requires people who are upright, people who are faithful, people who are committed to duty, patriotic to the nation, and in a nutshell, people that can say like Samuel, witness against me, whose code have I taken? If we continue not to care about the part of the people who intend to rule us, rogues and robbers will continue to rule us. God forbid. So when they get to power, behave as if they are mentally sick. That's called for mental health check, or health check in general, for people that will lead us in this nation. The anti-graft agencies in Nigeria have recently revealed to us the unimaginable and monumental amounts of money and resources of the nation that people cornered into their pockets. And one wonders whether these people are not schizophrenic. I think to me, for people to embezzle such large sums of money, they must be mentally sick. So we need to check their brain to know whether this head is correct or is just big for nothing. Moses was reputed to be the meekest man on earth during his time. No wonder God exalted him. When Moses was to choose other leaders to serve with him, so that he might not experience ministerial burnout prematurely and die, the criteria given by Jethro for such people were that of high moral integrity. Beloved of God, we cannot continue to force into power drug barons and expert looters and expect any positive change in Nigeria. Let us remember that such people do not just emerge. They are made over a long period of time. Credible people, people of character, people of love, people with the fear of God, they are not built in a day. They are made over a period of time. And because of that, I want all of you gathered here to know that the role that individual family is playing in the emergence of leaders is very crucial. If we do not teach our children right from infancy, they will not go on to become responsible adults. We must teach them to be worthy leaders of tomorrow. Lack of time for the upbringing of our children today is contributing to the increasing ills in our society. Career father, career mother, everything career. So career training of children at home, because you will get a career nanny to become the mother, and he will do his work or her work as a career person. The nurture that the baby needs is not there. God told the children of Israel in the book of Deuteronomy chapter 6 verse 7, and thou shalt teach your children diligently, and I talk of my law when you sit in the house, when you walk by the way, and when you lie down, and when you rise up. And thou shalt bind them for a sign upon your hand, and they shall be as frontlets between your eyes. And in verse 9 it says, and you shall write them upon the post of your house and on your gate. If all these political leaders, many of those who have continued to misbehave, if they were properly brought up, right from infancy, they may not be the type of liability they are today to the nation. Similar to mental check, health check for our leaders, a sound godly education. When I was quoting John Adams, the second American president, who said education must have moral value embedded into it in order for it to be meaningful and to sustain democracy. Was saying that pure secular democracy without a touch of the fear of God is not going to take us to our promised land. In Nigeria, it appears that many, or let me say some, because people may not agree with me that many of our political leaders don't have sound education. Let me say some. Are bedeviling our political leadership. Number one is very low level of education. Number two, lack of godly education. When you combine these two evils together, then you must know that such a nation must be in trouble. Semi-illiterates should no longer be allowed to rule us in this nation. Nigeria has grown to such an extent that somebody who finished school cert, and school cert is all the education that he had in life, to come and rule Nigeria. Nigeria is more than that. If we have a population of about 100,000 people, school cert can rule them. But where we have a population close to 200 million, what does the school certificate holder know about modern day economics, political diplomacy, international diplomacy, etc., etc.? Gone are the days when somebody is a grade 2 certificate holder, we think that he or she has acquired all the education in the world. And the next thing is now to become the governor of a state. Governor of where? Not modern day Nigeria. It will surprise you to see the type of certificates some people in the houses of assembly or in political leadership are holding. And it will also surprise you that the degree certificate that some of them are holding are just fake. They are Toronto certificates that cannot do anything. The case of Nigeria is like the blind leading those who can see. It's an irony. But who is responsible? You are the people responsible. You have continued to use sentiment and all other mundane considerations to vote them into power. 2019, the game will be different. In my contemplation and deep meditation, whoever is going to lead us must have a minimum educational requirement of at least an accredited bachelor's degree. Even if you are going to work in a local government as a local government councillor. We have got enough of them than a semi-illiterate to come forward and say, I want to lead. Lead where? Somebody that cannot lead himself cannot lead others. Gone are the days. And such education as I've emphasized must be with the fear of God. It will not be the education that will make you hack the documents of other people in the web. Yahoo, Yahoo. The Yahoo, Yahoo boys will no longer rule us in this nation. They will go abroad, they will do Yahoo, Yahoo to go and acquire all kinds of thinking money. And they come and use that to win election in Nigeria. If we begin to do background check for them, so people will never get to power again. And I want to emphasize to those in government, our policy makers, that our school system must be designed in such a way to have enough time to teach moral and religious education, depending on the religious belief of the student. The cancellation of devotion or slimming down of hours of religious instruction in schools has contributed, in my thinking, to the violence we are having in our society today. It is high time we went back to the days when students need morning and afternoon devotion in the schools, where they learned that they were and they are their brother's keepers. So, righteousness, probity, selflessness, integrity, among others, must be emphasized and rewarded in our schools and in public life. Those who took away religious teachings from our schools are enemies of the nation, and they must be retired right away. Number 4, deliberate political involvement of God's children is crucial. Hello? For many years, God's people are running away from political participation, seeing it as dirty game. We have allowed the unbelievers and the thoughts to continue to rule us. The righteous does not want to be in authority, and the righteous is suffering for the decision of the unrighteous. We deliberately refuse to register to vote. We fail to vote and fail to form or join political parties. When parties are distributing political offices after winning election, we now begin to ask for why no Christian was picked. To some extent, we were not asked to serve because we never participated actively right from the beginning. Political parties will reward those who labor with them, not because we are a Christian. If you are a Christian and you know you have the mind to help your people, you will join the political party and actively participate. It is there you can be remembered to come and serve. So we need to refocus if we will get there. For people who will participate, however, the motives must be pure. They also must receive a call from God. As the preacher like myself, receive the call from God. And I resigned from what I was doing before to accept the call, to go to the seminary, to accept to be trained, to understudy others who have been in the ministry before me. There is always a period of tutelage. There must be sacrifice for the call of God upon your life. If somebody comes to you and says, I want to become the counselor, the first thing you will ask him is,
the economy will not improve. So you must come out to say, look, enough is enough. And you can only do that if you register to vote. No amount of prayer can make you change government if you are not a registered voter. When you pray with your voter's card, God will answer your prayer. So don't go back home and sleep. So we have been praying, God help us change government. Yes, God will help you. He has never failed us, he will never fail us. It's like somebody who preparing for exam, who has exam. He will not read, and he will come. God help me. How will God help you when you have refused to read? The only key to passing the exam is for you to prepare for that exam. And the only key for you to change a bad government is your voter's card. So you must have it. If not, what we are suffering, we will continue to suffer. Do you want to continue to suffer? Do you want Nigeria to continue to be this way? Where every day people are dying? They are not dying only because of hunger. They are dying that people are not coming to your homes to slaughter you. We are not talking about hunger. Death induced by hunger. We are not even talking about that again. We are not talking about death. We have authorities that shut their eyes to allow human beings like you and I to be slaughtered every morning, every afternoon, every night. As Christians, we know what blood is all about. Christians, we cherish life. And that is why it's difficult for you to see us going to take people's life. But you have the key.
You have the key. Tomorrow you wake up in the morning, 30 people have died in Benue. The next day, 30 have died in Zamfara State. The next day, 20 have died in social place. And the government will come to give you excuses upon excuses upon excuses. Will we continue to listen to these excuses and people will be dying? It is not like today. I have never seen a system that will go to another country to demarcate a nation. Today, they have told the whole world that Nigerian youths are lazy. Nigerian youths are lazy. Are you lazy? Nigerian youths, are you lazy? I have never seen this in my life. Now, if Nigerian youths are lazy, will the investors come? Will they come? You cannot go to where a population, 60% of the population is lazy. They cannot work. They are not educated. Are we not educated? If we are not educated, is it not our responsibility to make our people to be educated? Is that not what you are voted in for? Somebody applied for a job. Somebody came and said, there is problem in Nigeria. And Nigeria is not a news. We know that things were not going on well. They came with all kinds of propaganda to deceive Nigeria. And Nigeria...
people to the knowledge of Jesus Christ. Well, it's been fun. We're happy you were part of it. That's the most we can do on this live will be transferred. Thank you very much for being part of it, and we're off now.
Yes, I'm done. You see, my dear brothers and sisters, if anybody tells you that there's no God, tell the person you're a liar. If your neighbor tells you there's no God, tell your neighbor you're a liar. The only way you know that there is God is when you have come in contact with River State. Those of you who are from states where you have not seen authorities wanted to crumble that state, you see God manifesting. You see God say, look, this is my state, you cannot do anything. It is River State where you have God. Is here? Is here. You know, when there was criminality, so much criminality in this state, people were coming to behead innocent people's heads. I ran down to them. I went to Abuja. I told them, please help me. Send your special squad. I will bear the cost. River State government will pay everything it takes about logistics. They refused to support us because they were preparing to declare River.
Well, I think from what we gathered from here is that from creation, God designed man, you know, to have dominion over the earth and rule over the earth. And the current president made us to understand that that dominion has to work with political power. And so those who have political power have control over the things that happen in the country. And so Christians must participate in politics such that they can rule with whatever. As moral custodians, I think it is with politics that they're able to exercise what what they understand by that. So the theme of the conference speaks to that more particularly, that Christians must participate in politics and such that when the righteous rules, the people are happy. It is the 105th National Nigerian Baptist Convention happening here live in Port Harcourt on the east, what is popularly called the East-West Road. Well, I think unity is at the center of everything we're talking about. There is the need for us to have a united nation. There is the need for us to be at peace with one another. That is exactly what we're talking about. It's a 6-day conference. So, yes. Yeah, it's a 6-day conference which began yesterday with a press briefing. Today is day 2 of the conference, and this arena is filled to the brim because it has to do with God, it has to do with life, it has to do with politics. And the other day I was discussing with somebody who tried to draw some kind of comparisons with church and religion, and he was telling me that wherever you find a large crowd of people, they're either discussing politics or they're talking religion, which means that these two must work together, because they always have a way of bringing large crowd of people to listen to their stories and all that. So I think that if the church and politics cooperate effectively, the country will be the better for it. We're transmitting right here on NTA, the largest TV network in Africa.
For all of us to benefit from. You have had the other time when I told you people that they said they will give me the treatment of Alamesia. I'm not afraid. I am not afraid of whatever. But I'm just to let them know that while you are plotting against me, be ready that what you will see, you cannot contain. Now that have failed, 2 nights ago, they wonder how does he know what we are planning? Why wouldn't I know what you are planning? Is my God dead? He's not a dead God. He's a living God. As you plan, as you take the first step, I have far ahead. Now they have plotted again. Oh, somebody will come with $3 million. The person will say that it is the governor of Rivers State that gave him the money. I said, I wish I would even see that $3 million. Look at what the government is doing. You saw what happened in Senate recently. Who told you?
And, our rulers must rule with the fear of God. I think that is the bottom line, and every religion preaches that we must fear God, and it is in our service to humanity that we actually understand whether we are Christians, whether we are Muslims. There's no religion that does not preach peace and all that. So I think the Baptist Convention is trying to let us know that as Christians, we should participate in politics actively so that we can practice what we preach.
They took the maize from that place. They ran down how many kilometers and left. No gate was shut. Nobody touched them. And then when Senate had issued an ultimatum, then I came. We have seen the maize under the bridge.
Okay. Okay, well, the church in our country, in our community, and even in our immediate environment, according to the president of the Christian Association of Nigeria, is positioned than a single individual actor who, in deciding who governs the nation. The reason being that the church has a population that must think in the light of the people, that must strategize to serve the nation with the fear of God. So this opportunity can only be harnessed if we make proper use of our education and resources to guide people aright. Because if you take it or leave it, the gathering, the congregation of people in the church every day is such that you cannot wish them away. So church leaders must be shining examples. There must be good examples for people to follow. And of course, if they are good and they have this large crowd of people that look up to them and they venture into politics, it stands to reason that the country will be well served by those who fear God. So it's important that our leaders, our church leaders, practice what they preach. We are at the 105 convention here in Port Harcourt under the auspices of Nigerian Baptist Convention.
I will support you to put maybe not too much more touch in that school. And then to also continue with what you are doing here. My dear brothers and sisters, we must rejoice that this is God's children's time. This is our own time. Is it not correct? If I'm not a Christian, will I be here? If I don't believe in God, will I be here? Christians must decide who will rule them in this state. Christians will decide who will rule them in this state. No outsider. No outsider. It's only Christians that will decide here what will happen to River State. Are you hearing me? So don't worry yourself. Nobody will manipulate anything here. Nobody will try it again. No political robbery will be accepted. Anybody who wants to manipulate anything, Holy Ghost fire. So the River State government will support it makes us happy. Change the landscape of this area. But you see, you can see that road. It's federal government, isn't it? Because we are for river. Come and do something for us. There is insecurity. They want to take 1 billion to fight insecurity.
It's important that we don't lose the essence of this convention, which is to gather God's people for the future of this nation. When people gather, people find it the opportunity to also want to sell their own ideas. But I think that this convention is such that we must understand what they want to achieve, and that is to move this nation forward through Christian participation in politics. It's been a wonderful weather out here, and
God will help us. I know 2019, God will make his people rejoice. So we'll support you with a sum of 150 million naira. Thank you, sit down, please, sit down, thank you. Let me tell you, there's nothing to clap there. If we have money, we will do more than that. If we don't give to the church, who are we going to give to? This is one place I know we are safe. When you contribute here, you know you are doing meaningful contribution. So I have no. This is one major project that is key to my administration. Project in God's house. For me, is one major project. Any other one is secondary. This project is the major project. Thank you, and God bless you.
Donation to the church for them to be able to move this ground forward. Is a very large expanse of land here, you know, which they want to develop, and the governor has made his own contribution. Well, I think it's on this note that we want to round off this outside broadcast assignment. The weather has been very clement, and people have actually participated. It's a live web coverage of the 105 convention of the Nigerian Baptist Convention here in Rivers State. We thank you for being part of it, watching the Africa's largest network, the NTA. Thank you.
Baptist Conference too.
Victor Dennis claiming he was stripped. Emmanuel David Obiozo to take this one once again. Antenna, this second half seems to be kind of enough to what we've seen so far.
Yes, I think the both teams are not doing badly. They are playing the best they can, and like I told you earlier, I don't see any team trying to be on the defensive part side. Everybody's trying to score, and maybe Stars just gave a wrong pass there. And the players in control of the game. Nice defensive play. Maybe Stars in control of the game. Maybe Stars are moving forward. And they pull out, and goalkeeper Obiazo was there. So far so good. The match is still competitive. No goal on either side, and both teams are struggling hard to see that everybody gets a goal. But the pressure is more on Lobby Stars. The more the fans are anxious and waiting to see the first goal for the home team.
We'd like to say that after 58 minutes it's 1-1 at the Gospel Akabe International Stadium. Aqua United put one, Sunshine Stars put one back against Aqua United. Lobby Stars, the fans are no problem for danger of fractured. Rabi Ali, long one. And that man is chasing the ball, of course, with fear of Junior Lukosa. Probably he's the beginning of wisdom. That defender had to play for a corner kick after noticing the oncoming Junior Lukosa. Corner kick to be taken. Chris Madaki to take that one for Pilas. Chance. Oh, counter. Platus Utodo. Chance for Lobby Stars. Samad. Oh. Poor one by Samad. It's not been very poor in the final third, and you can see the fans. Poor pass again. Canopilas going 3 against 2. Oh, lovely one. Wagwa. Chance. Oh, he saw his man calling him right there. Wagwa. The strike partner of Junior Lukosa. He saw Junior Lukosa. He got the ball from Junior Lukosa. Junior Lukosa decided to move into space. He was expecting that pass. And Wagwa should have played with his man. But decided to go on his own. And that one went off target. He tried to call the ball to the top right corner. Well, unfortunately, Coach Ibrahim Musa, technical advice of Canopilas, watching on with his assistant Ahmed Yaro, the former Super Eagles and Canopilas player. Some players are still on the bench that will probably maybe will also get play. Austin Ogunye, like I said earlier. Samad Kadri. Fierce battle between these two. Samad Kadri. Oji not happy with the decision of the assistant referee. Cleared away. Todo for me has been very, very impressive with a lot of experience for the home team. And Lobi trying to get a chance for Lobi. Samad Kari trying to turn. Lobi once again still maintaining that. No problem for WW as well. The fans are playing. They expect more from that one. Rabi. Throwing to Canopilas. Chris Madaki taking that one quickly. Chris Madaki, referee says no play on. And Antonio Kotu dispossessed. Oh, lovely pass by Cletus Sotoro trying to find his man. Unde Moses. who has been full back, who has been running through the flanks. Lobby still trying to get the first clear court chance. Chance for Lobby Stars. Chance! Oh! He should have done better, that play. He should have done better. He didn't hit the ball so well. No problem for David Obiozo. Sonia Kechi. He had the chance to score the first goal in this second 45 minutes. You saw that ball by Sonia Akoche, and he should have done well in that one. He didn't hit the ball so hard, and no problem for goalkeeper David Obiozo.
That was a very weak shot. I expected him to have done better than that. And since the beginning of this match, this is the best the Stars have come close to scoring. Let's see as the match progresses. I think we believe that better opportunities will come for the team. Now the who coming in.
Austin Ogoye coming on for Samad. The fans are not happy that Samad is coming off. Both Samad and Ogoye have scored 10 goals between them. I wonder why the coach decided to bring up Samad Kadri. Ogoye, the man sporting number 25 jersey. The fans are not happy about that change from Solomon Ogbede. You can see that man, Samad Kadri. Do you think a match like this that you're expecting a goal to be scored, you are bringing off your top scorer with 6 goals and coming with another striker? Don't you think he should have allowed Samad to stay and play alongside Austin Ogoye, both sides, both 10 goals, match won by Cletus Sotodo?
You know, there's one thing in football I must say. Some players, at times they don't fit in the game, at times they fit in the game. I think, of course, today, maybe the coach has seen it that Samad has not really been quite impressive compared to other matches that he has played. So I think the coach knows what he's doing, and I believe maybe he's doing it for the better. Samad is a very good player, but I think today he has not really fit in. He has not shown that push full ability up front to see that the team can get a goal. I believe that when the coming of Ogunye Austin will be better, and it will motivate the team to do better. Samad has done his part. He's a good player, but today, Samad, I think he has not been quite impressive from the way the coaches will expect.
Well, thank you, Tena. Let's see what will come out of that tactical change. In the meantime, Nzube and Ezumba has been brought down. The workaholic himself. Obiozo. Still goalless here at the Aparaku Stadium between these two giants. The battle of the league leaders against the third on the league leaders, Lobby Stars. Wagwa will allow that ball to go to throw-in. Hilary Paul, the tall man, to take this throw in, a long throw. Chance for, no, way off the mark. No problem for Coyote or Lufemi. Pillars. Lobby Stars still trying to get their acts together and see what they can give their fans, and also free kick to Kano Pillars. What can they do with this one? Will they get anything out of this one? Rabi Alebiogo Pazin is not on the pitch. Do we have who can take it? Julie, right there. Coyote arranged his wall. I think it's far. Don't know if you can hit it so hard. Quickly taken, short one taken. No problem for goalkeeper Coyote. Olufemi. You can see the fans dancing. And they feel that they have the 3 points in the bag already. They continue to maintain their top position in the Nigerian Professional Football League. Of course, it is March 18 of the Nigerian Professional Football League. Oh, twist and turns. Nice one there. Lobby once again, trying to find their way through. They feel like they are not done. They can still add in one more goal. Ebubi. And the one who created the assist for Ayosaka, you can see the one who created the assist and the one who got the goal. Ebubi to Ayosaka. Oh, chance for Lobby once again. Ebubi crossing the ball back. Chance for Lobby. No problem for David Obiozo. Nice ball by David Chiakese, the old war horse. I think in the last 10 minutes or so, the home team, they have enjoyed possession. They have enjoyed more possession in this game. Of course, they are playing with one man advantage. I think Alpilas, I don't think they have any answer to this Lobby Stars onslaught right now. That is the end of the game right now for Rafi Stadium. Lobby Stars of Makori. They have won this one by a goal by Ayo Sakai, assist by Ebube. And Lobby Stars maintain now have 33 points in 17 games on the leg of the Nigerian Professional Football League. The fans are happy. It's March 18. The Nigerian Professional Football League concluded right here at the Afaraku Stadium in Makodi, Benue State. It's Lobby Stars of Makodi 1, Kano Pillars 0. And spirit of sportsmanship there from the team. The players shaking hands as expected after the game, and showing that it's just a game. Mother Centers full time. Agua United 2, Sunshine Stars by 1. Full time. Nasarawa 1, Abia Warriors 0. Full time. Niger Tornadoes 1, Yobe Desert Stars 0. And it's still a Yimba. Away to Wikitoris, goalless, 5 minutes at a time. We're yet to confirm the final result in that one. We want to appreciate you for your time on the network service of the Nigerian Television Authority. My name is Dende Sani. Glad to have you on this day. And for my co-commentator,
my name is Tina Uma. Thanks for keeping the date with us.
On March 19 is another game on the network service of the NTA. Many thanks for watching. Lobby Stars 1, Kano Pillars 0. Bye-bye.